Alright, so we're going to wrap up loops. So you'll see with for loops, there's nothing else more than this that we're going to do in any case. So next term when we start, we'll go over to conditional structures. The if. That one that Mr. Wakshaw started with you guys, just mentioning it quick for a bit. But then we'll do that properly. Alright, so the one that we still, there's 5 needing to be done. So our first one is this one, numbers 10 to 1. So who wants to guide me? I need some answers from you guys. Tell me which variables will we need? Yes. Which is an integer because we're going to need a for loop because that's what we're doing. So I say 4 and I click tab and then I want to go from 10 to 1. So what do I change here? The 0 must change to 10, okay? Down, yes, down to, and then down to where? 1. Alright. Alright, then inside this for loop, what do I write? Array display, yeah, dot. Add. And then inside there, in into string and brackets on. Perfect. Yes, ask me. Alright, so it needs to look like this, but you'll see. So what I do is you just type 4 and then you click the tab key. So now I press tab. When I do tab, it does all that for me. So you just type 4 and then you click tab and all the rest will be done for you. And then you just adjust it. Does that help you? Yes. Yeah, that's your easiest way to do it. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no better way than that to do it, unfortunately. All right. All right. Then let's go to the next one. Next one's should be relatively straightforward. That is our characters A to Z. All right. So what variable do we need? Yes. All right. And then I go 4 and I press tab. And what do I change here? Yeah, so we put A in quotes and we say 2 stays 2. And we say 2Z. And then we just do our array display again. Of I. No conversion needed. All right, let's quickly test those 2 buttons. So there you see. Then down to 1. And then our A to Z. All right. So you'll see every time you do a new one, then the previous stuff stays there. If you want to remove it, just before your for loop, you can say your component name, which is display. Then you just say dot clear. That I put it by the A to Z one. So now If I click that one, and then if I click A to Z, it takes away the 1 to 10. So then, yeah, so if you do a dot clear, it just takes away what's there. Clears the display area for you, which is nice. All right, then we go to our third one. 15 random whole numbers, odd numbers, but with 2 digits. All right, so 15 odd 2-digit numbers, which are whole numbers. All right, so which variables do I need? Guide me through this. Even though you said you struggled, I'm sure all of you could give me something at least. Which is no, so I'm happy with integer. So integer. So our for loop, because we want 15, it means we're going to need a loop. So that's I. But we also want a random number, which is a whole number. So that's also an integer. So we're going to need a random number, and we're going to need our for loop variable. All right. Then what do I do inside my code? Yes, we start with our for loop. So this thing is, I want 15 random numbers. So what must I change this to so that it happens 15 times? Yeah. Yeah. So this will already happen 15 times fast enough. So we sorted with that. Now our next step is now to just create a random number. So how do I create a odd 2-digit random number? Tell me, what must I write? Any random number? What do I do? We go random, do you agree? So let's do 2-digit first. If it's just a 2-digit number, tell me, what is the biggest 2-digit number I can get? 99. And the smallest one? 10. All right. So remember, on the inside of a random, highest minus lowest plus 1, on the outside plus lowest. All right, let's leave it like that for now. And then I want to display it. So then in my red display, I go dot lines dot add, and then I put then I have to into string ran. All right. Any questions on that? Everybody good with this part that I've done? Yes. Say again. What must I do? All right. So let's quickly look. So we times by 2 to make it even, and then we plus 1 to make it odd. So let's quickly see if it makes a difference. Before we say plus 1, let's see what this would have given us. If we got a 49, what is 49 times 2? Gives me a 98. And what is 5 times 2? 10. So effectively, that is the range of the numbers that I could get. If we go minus 1, then this becomes a 97, and the 10 becomes a 9. Can you see now, because of that range, it's not 2-digit anymore. So theoretically, it doesn't matter if you add or subtract 1, but you just need to check the answers. Because we stopped at 10, so now if we minus 1, we'll actually get to a 9, which is wrong. 97 is fine, but 9 is wrong. So, but if we add 1, so that's the one when we subtracted 1. If we added 1, 98 becomes 99, which is good, and the 10 becomes 11. And you agree this is the smallest two-digit odd number we get, and this is the biggest two-digit odd number we get. So that means the plus 1 is our most correct one. Minus 1 will work most of the time because it will work for all numbers except if you got a 10. Then it broke it, and then obviously you can never get 99. So that's not ideal either. So you don't get the highest, and your lowest one is actually just one off. So that's why the plus 1 is the best way to go, just because of that. So the easiest way to do it is just multiply it out, see what is the new biggest and smallest, to decide if you should add one or subtract one to make it right. Okay, all right. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy that. So now we go to our next one. For this one, we want 25 whole odd numbers with 3 digits. So now I'm just going to paste it there because we do the same thing. We want our variable again. We want the I for the loop. We need a random number, which is again odd, which is again a whole number. So this is our question now. That is our number. So now, let's see, take that away, take that away. So I'm just changing now the one we already did for the two number. So what should we change with our for loop to now do it for 25 numbers? Yes, yes, our 15 becomes 25. Now that is sorted. It is still a whole number because we did integer. Odd is sorted there. But now the only question was we wanted a 3-digit number. So what should we change here to make this an odd 3-digit number? All right, you broke a bit away. I don't know. Can the rest of you hear way too nicely, or is it just my internet or his internet? Is it? Okay. Oof. Yeah. Okay, so your internet's a bit. Everything sounds good and then it just goes lost. All right, so I think what we'll do, let me guide you for shorter answers. What is the biggest 3-digit number we can get? No, no, not right. And what's the smallest one? 100. Okay, but remember, we're going to times 2. So because of that, what should be our biggest number then that we can? Remember, because we times 2, we're going to divide this by 2. So what is 999 divided by 2? Yeah, 499 actually. All right, and what is 100 divided by 2? 50. All right, so now we can already see, because we know this, can you see? So this one must just become 499, and that must just become a 50, and that must just become a 50. And there, our 3-digit number sorted. So now we got 5 random real numbers between 50 and 150. So again, I'm going to paste. Ah, okay, so now let me just go one up again. Just going to take this again. Copy and paste is your friend in the exam as well. You'll save a lot of time if you've got like the same thing you need to do a few times. All right. So tell me, so I copied this one now, so let's change it. So this is our question now. All right. So now I want 5. Yes, talk to me. All right. So what you do, that happens randomly. So with some of you, it will never happen. Some of you, it might happen the first time during the exam. So it's maybe good to realize with this. Sometimes, I don't know why, but Delphi gets like just Yamacar sometimes. So then what you do is, you'll double click does want to work, then go to code, and then you just scroll and you should somewhere, what happens, a piece of it get moved. You'll see like a piece of your program is maybe somewhere else, maybe like after the end. You'll see like a pro somewhere, and then you'll see a seizure somewhere else, or it cuts it in different places. Just move that piece back where it's supposed to be. So remember, I copied the code. So now let's change it. They asked us for 5 random real numbers. So where must I change what to make this happen 5 times? Yes, 25 must become 5. Now this time they said real numbers. So what do I need to change up here? What should rand become? Yes. My next question, should I change I also to double? Alright, and the answer to that one is no. Our for loop variable will always be an integer or character. It will never be double. So your for loop variable I, in any case, 99.9% of the time, I want to set your whole schooling career, I will always be an integer if you use it in a for loop. So that's fine, but rand should become double. So rand is double now. So okay, maybe let's take out this whole thing because now there's a lot of things happening there. Okay, so we want random numbers between 50 and 150. So now I say random, open bracket. What do I put in the brackets? Okay, so by this display, we say float to string. That's good. But with my random number itself, how do I generate now a number between 50 and 150? Minus 100 plus 1, you say. What did you say? 150 minus 50, yes. Plus 1, and then outside, plus 50. How do we make it a real number? Times 2 makes it even. Who can remember? How do I add a fraction to this? So the only thing you do is you just plus random. Yeah. So you just plus random again. That adds a fraction for us. So that will make it a fraction, a random number, and then we just display it, doing it 5 times. And that's our answer.